going to be, actually, I'm not even going to lie to you. Let me wait until we start streaming live. And so we're streaming live now, and I have changed the YouTube link. So if somebody wants to join us on YouTube, I'm gonna attach the link in the Google Drive, in the Zoom chat, so that they too can have access to the meeting. But as it is right now, got it. So we're streaming live now. Am I talking? You guys hear me talking? Oh. Beautiful. So, all right, are you guys hearing me? Turn on your mics and let me know if you hear me now, because we're about to start.
Hearing. Hello, am I
there? Somebody said that there's a bit of static. Is that fixed?
Hello, are you hearing me? Amala?
Yes, I am, Shannon. Hi, good night.
Hi, good night. Your mic is a bit too loud. I tried to turn it down on my laptop, but it's still at the same volume. So I'm wondering if you can turn it down for a bit.
Want me to turn down my what?
Your mic.
No, I can't turn down my mic, Shannon. Nor can I turn down my voice. I'm just a very big mouth person.
I thought you could have done that. It's okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Maybe right. It's my headphones.
No, I'm so sorry about that, Shanna. What I can recommend is that you take out the earphones and trying to use it without it. But good evening, everyone. Let me see if I can turn on this. Thank you, Breno. I'm using my, look what I look like. I'm using my laptop, and so it's a little bit, you guys can see a little bit glitchy. My name is Laura. Welcome to our session, and we are about to begin. Let me send the link in the chat.
What happened?
Please ensure, thank you so much. Please ensure that you turn off your mics. Really, actually, guys, I cannot compete with the mics. So ensure that your mics are off. I have a tendency where I'm going to tell you to turn off your mics anyways, if it is that your mic is on. But nonetheless, my name is Omalora Wilson, and I have been doing this session for the past 6 semesters while I'm here at the University of the West Indies.
No, I love the study session.
I see we're going to have an issue tonight because a lot of and I'm going to have to mute it for you. All right, it's fine. We can work with it. But yes, guys, so I've been doing this session for the past 6 semesters, which is quite a lot. Best believe. That's the thing. I don't want to permanently mute people because, like I said earlier, I'm the type for conversations when it comes on to the book report, because I want to ensure that everybody is understanding, and I don't want it to be a case in which someone misses an information because they wanted to say something and I didn't give them the opportunity to say it, because I take me enough self and mute them from talking. And so I rather it be a case in which I call you out and you talking and kind of interrupting the session than I don't do anything at all. Then I mute you and you don't get to say anything at all. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay, so if you guys have been on YouTube, you might have seen some sessions that I have conducted And I always ask this question, always ask this question at the start of the book report session. I am someone for honesty, and those who are on YouTube, I always make it a priority that I have my phone on with me, because I want to ensure that any sort of information I'm sharing, you over there at YouTube don't feel as if you're left out of the actual session. And so I always make it this priority that if you see me looking down, I'm using my phone to read the comments in YouTube, because I like to ensure that students who are also on YouTube have the opportunity to interact with us. You understand me? They're 10 seconds below. There's 10 seconds behind rather, but nonetheless, they are also a part of the book report session. And so like when we talk, I can ask them if you guys understand what I'm saying, and they can respond and say, yes, we do, and we keep it going, right? And always remember that this is a sharing space, which means that there's no need for you to be selfish with any sort of information that you know. There's no need for you to be quiet and feel as if you say something, everybody in here gonna laugh at you, because really and truly, let me just try and get this grade and get the hell out of here. As well as there's no need for you to feel, thank you, Aisha, I let them in. As well as there's no need for you to feel as if you are the person that is going to fail this book report. The meat of the matter is this book report has been around from maybe before you and I were even born. They've always made it a priority with this course that students do a book report, because the beauty about this particular course, Caribbean Civilization, is that it tackles all aspects. So it tackles how you work in groups, it tackles how you work by yourself in terms of multiple choice. And then what it does is that it wants to know that this particular course, the coordinators, they want to know that at the end of the day, when you leave this course, you are learning, you've learned something, and you're able to go into your different classes and different spaces using this sort of information to critically understand the environment we're living in. Meaning, majority of us are Caribbean people, and we see a lot of things happening in society and we don't really analyze it the way we're supposed to. So it kind of fly over our head when certain things happen, certain conversations happen, certain things are done, and we don't know the history or the social context of this particular scenario taking place. And so we cannot necessarily explain or know for ourselves why it is happening. You get me so far? Is everybody with me so far? The reason for particular course. No, guys, coming back in. So just keep our fingers crossed that Brian keeps his mic muted this time. Brian? Okay. So yes, guys. So you have to understand the purpose of this course, because the thing about this course is I do it as a social student. I'm going to just call a name here and say Demario. Like say Demario is not under the Faculty of Social Sciences, but he does it as well. Like say Abigail is over engineering or med science. So everybody has to do this course because it allows us to understand the space we're living in. Boom, done. This big man question that we're going to be asking is that we have to submit this book report by March 25th, 11:59 Eastern time, which is 10:59 our time, if I'm not mistaken. And with 5 days left to go, the big man question is, and once again, this is a safe space. How many of you have started the book report? Just be honest, know yourself. By indication of raising your hand, how many of you have started the book report? And you don't have to impress nobody. If you're not starting, you're just not starting. Because no run. If you're not starting, all right. Now let's ask the big, I won't say the heading course. Go sit down. Now let's ask the big man question now. Lower your hands, lower your hands, lower your hands, lower your hands, lower your hands. Big man question now. Lower your hands. How many of us in here have not started the book report. 5 days left to go, and we have not started the book report. And this is a safe space. As well as if you're over there on YouTube, just do the same hand emoji. The same hand emoji. That's what I want to see. Over in YouTube as well. I'm looking in YouTube. Come on, want to see. If you know that you have not started the book report, 18, I see 18, 19 persons. Not even shame. That's your Alia. But I'm not shaming at this. We just not start. But if you haven't started, by indication, if you have not started the book report, 5 days in, lower your hands. Lower your hands. Everybody lower your hands. And then here's the $1 million question now. $1 million question. How many of you have not even started to read the book?
Jesus Christ.
You have not started. Like, you don't even know, apart from the front page, you don't reach nowhere. In this Zoom meeting alone, 15 persons have openly admitted. And you know why I say openly admitted? Because I know in my heart of hearts that someone is still shame to say it. But 15 persons openly admitted that they have not started the book. Openly admitted. 5 days left, and we have not started the book.
Yeah.
Lower your hands. And I'm here to say to you, it's not right, you know. But we are doing not right, you know. By right, you should read the book. It's not right, but all hope is not gone. You understand me? And if you watched the YouTube, you would have heard me giving my story about me and my experience with Caribbean civilizations. Let me tell you my story, because I do it every year. I have to tell my story. When I was in my first semester, first year, we had the same book report, just a different book. We had to do a book report. And Omalora, she decides, say, I'm a star. And so I don't even like this book. This book don't even look interesting. And so you can lower your hand to Mary and Shanique. And so I'm just gonna read it when I'm ready, right? The book report was due to Friday. They do it every year. Friday, 10:59. The Friday come, I didn't even have access to the book. I didn't even know where the book was. The Friday came and I had no idea where the book was. No idea. And Friday come, the day for me actually submit the book. I don't know how the book look. And I started having a fit. Because I said to myself, no, I hate this. I'm going to fail Carib Civ. You understand me? And the situation is that I wasn't even in a position where I wasn't a smart girl. I just didn't have the interest to read the book. You understand me? The book looked boring. And me, I gotta be very honest, and I can say to myself, look how Lucille cock up on the book. The book looked boring. It's not a book that seems enticing to read. If you are not a history student, if you're not a student that is fascinated by Caribbean civilization, the book looked boring. And so I said to myself, I'm not going to read that book. And the deadline is 10:59 p.m. And I am in the class, I'm in the library because we had face-to-face classes that time. I'm in the library with this book. I'm see everybody I mash up themselves, I write the essay and everything. And I just started reading the book. 10:59 p.m. at deadline, I am just opening the book to read.
Jesus.
Not true. You see my bare face and out. No, that night I read the book. I read the book in its entirety, and then I went home and I slept. I'm tired, me a big woman, I'm want to rest, I don't know what I want. The next morning, I woke up again. Yes, I woke up again and I reread the book. That's Saturday, the book due Friday. Saturday night, I started my book report. I started writing it. Sunday evening, I submitted the book report. All hope gone for me, because I know me feel. When the book report come out, I got an 80 flat. This is a girl who lost marks because she did not submit on time. I'm gonna get the 80 flat. 80 flat, no joke. And me I said to myself, why somebody didn't really just show me how to do the book report from morning? I could have done my ball, I could have done my things and so. I submitted 2 days late and I got an 80%. How? I don't know. But the situation is the book report is not hard to do. You understand me? And so even though you are 5 days in, meaning 5 days left for you to do it, and someone gonna start read book it, someone gonna know how the actual book look, you still have the opportunity. You still have the opportunity to get the least an 80 flat. Don't follow me. Somebody just said something in the chat. I'm gonna say it right now. Oh no, follow me. Put some not have the same look. I mean, no understand how me had a lot there. Oh no, follow me. So submit on time. You hear? Don't try it. I don't know how me get lucky. So I'm telling you, God never failed me yet. But submit on time. But that's what my point is to go to say that you might feel as if you don't know what you're doing, and you might feel as if all hope is lost. But because the situation is you are able to analyze the way they want you to analyze, you will be fine. You hear me say? Now let me share my screen, because I always say this at the start of the book report. And so that was our pitch. We just did a pitch, an introduction to what we're gonna do, the vibes we're gonna have, how we're supposed to communicate with each other, the fact that this is a space in which you can say what you want to say, feel how you want to feel, because the conversations that we have here are simple. We're in a safe space. And so the situation is everything that you say here is fine, no matter how you feel, no matter how you're stressed out. If you don't understand, the vibe that we want to put off is that you're fine. You understand me? No, I am not technologically savvy in no way whatsoever. And so from time to time, I might ask somebody to do something for me because I don't know how to do it myself. And so when I do ask you to do that, please don't laugh at me. Bear with me. I'm learning. I'm not old. I'm 22, but me just not technical. Me just not have it. Me just not have it this one. I don't know if it operates, and that's fine. No, I want at this point, while I load my screen, because I'm trying to figure out how to do it, everybody needs to either have a pen or paper in front of them, their laptop, because they're gonna type up a little piece here and there, or just the book itself to kind of highlight some here or there as well. Now, the beauty about this year is that I had some very proactive students under this course. So what they did is, instead of waiting for me to send you the information that we normally have, you guys went out and found it yourself. Because each year we speak to this person over Trinidad. He writes, he's fascinating in terms of how he goes through the book for us and he picks the different points, and he gives the examples of the points and everything. So like basically when it comes onto the themes and everything, I don't have to do it per se, because he himself does it for us. So God bless him soul. He normally doesn't watch these things, but he always makes it a priority to help. And then after he helps, we distribute it. We distribute it to you, the university students, so that you can properly write your essays. Now, let's say you decide that you are not going to finish the book, which you should do, but some of you just won't get the opportunity to finish the book, especially if you're going to start today, because some of us, like I said, the book is very hard to read if you're not a history student. If you have no interest in history, it's gonna be a very hard book to read, but it's fine. We're gonna do what we can do nonetheless. And so the book, are you guys seeing my screen? Let me know if you're seeing my screen.
No.
You're not? All right, let me fix it, guys. There we go. Thank you. Can you fix this one because I don't do one? Which one do I want? Which one I don't want it to? All right, guys. All right, guys. Tell me if you've seen the screen now.
No, miss.
You're not? That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
You sure you're okay?
All right, then. I think I got it. Sorry, YouTube. Sharing screen. Zoom never made me be great. Embarrassing, but we move. All right, guys. So here we go. We're sharing the screen. And I can see myself, so that's beautiful. And I can see the chats as well, so that's beautiful. I'm wondering if I should have shared the screen or just shared the actual document. But nonetheless, if persons ask, tell them to join us on YouTube because the Zoom is now full and I don't want it to be a case in which they are waiting to join and we don't let them in. You understand? But let's go. All right, guys, so let's talk about it. Lucille Mathermere, keep changing that each year. We're doing our book report session and we're getting these A's together, okay? And we're getting these A's together. And so when you talk about this particular book, the question at hand is, in 2007, Lucille Mathermere's seminal work, The Rebel Woman in the British West Indies During Slavery, was published. Now, through an assessment of her biography by Vereen Shepherd, determine the extent, well, let me do something wrong. Determine the extent to which Mere herself could be considered a rebel woman. Now you see, when I heard that this was what the question was asking, I'm not going to lie to you. I was wondering, I got a little nervous. I was like, this is different from what they do each year. But then I actually went through the question and went through the book that Vereen had written, The Rebel Woman in the British West Indies During Slavery. And then I understood that all they're asking you about is not necessarily about that book, but the idea and the concept of what a rebel woman is. Everybody with me so far? No, you have to turn on your mics, mic babies. That's what
Yes.
yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so that's what we're looking at. Like I said, it's never a case in which they're asking you outside of, they always stick within what they're asking for. Normally, they're simply asking you to highlight the themes in the story and make a connection because of that particular theme. Now, when they did it, now they broke it down. Let me see, where is it? And so they wanted you to make the application of key themes in Caribbean civilization, make the analysis of the book, to construct a logical and coherent argument, and you need to demonstrate your original thinking. We'll get into that. Language, you must use, make sure things are spell and write, and then of course, citation. Now, what is it that you think in your own understanding? I'm gonna want the bright ones here now who believe that they are somewhere ahead of the others, and it's fine because we always have those people and we're grateful for you guys because you're the ones who actually help us. But what do you believe that this question is asking you? Anybody?
I think what the question is asking is like how her actions and like how her achievements back then helped to like shape how women in any aspect of society should never like really settle for less than, and like pushing themselves and trying to be better than what a patriarchal society would want them to be.
All right. I don't know what your name is because you're saved as iPhone, or is it that is it Abigail?
Yes.
It's Abigail?
Yes.
All right. No, Abigail in a way hit the nail right on its head in a way. They are letting you know, or what they want you to understand is that basically from the biography that Vereen Shepherd has written, there are many issues and there are many factors in that period, right? In which Lucille herself was not okay with, or in which Lucille herself faced or experienced and in a way addressed that was out of the norm of what society expected women to be. You understand me? And so they want you to look at the different things in the book. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Nothing? Hello? Are you going to say something? All right, no problem. And so, right, so they want you to look in the book and they just didn't want you to focus on issues faced in Caribbean society, but issues that were faced in Caribbean society and especially by women, and how women in Caribbean society attacked these particular issues. Everybody with me so far? Everybody understand what the question is asking? Everybody understand what the question is asking? No, if you have read the book, you would understand. You would, go ahead, Sirani Diaz. Go ahead, Sirani. And over YouTube, you can send your questions as well. We're watching you. Go ahead, Sirani. Okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That's fine. So no question? Okay, fine. And so what the question is asking you, and if you look at the breakdown of the question, and by that I mean, what is it that they're grading for? They want you to make the application of key themes in Caribbean civilization. In terms of students have applied knowledge of themes addressed in the Caribbean civilization course to the analysis. They also want you to be able to analyze what it is that you're reading. When you read the book here, you as a university student, how is it that you are using your critical thinking skills to understand what this book is speaking about? And so basically, they want you to use the content of the book and scholarly sources to construct a logical and coherent argument. And then you need to, when you're doing critical thinking skills, it is what you are reading, what scholars have said, and what you in your own way interpret and believe. That's how you do critical thinking. Everybody with me so far? Everybody with me so far?
Yes, please.
All right, beautiful. And then of course, the little part I went on matter, which is language. You on your own with that. You have to know is from R, was from where. etc., etc. And then citation, which is also important, and it depends on the format that they're using. I'm oftentimes not the best person for citation because I love using APA format, but what I always do is that at the end of the session, I always look for something that helps students to better cite their courses, their sources rather, and then I send it in the different groups and ask them to share with their friends, etc., etc. Everybody understand? Yeah. And so now let's go back to what the question is asking. In 2007, Lucille Mathermere's seminal work, The Rebel Woman in the British West Indies During Slavery, was published. You see all of this here where you see your song? You see, let me highlight it. You see all of this here? Don't embarrass me like this, computer. All of this entire sentence here. Oh, what is that? But this entire sentence here, it has nothing to do per se with your essay. Meaning, apart from telling you that the book was published, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's all. Okay? Now, this is what is the important part. Through an assessment of her biography by Varian Shepherd, which means that your thinking skill and your idea and everything will matter based on this part. Yes? And then this, determine the extent in which Mary herself could be considered a rebel woman. This is your argument. This is what you will be arguing about. So I'm gonna put it in a red, gold, and green. Red here is just basic information. Green is the way in which you're going to put forward your yellow, which is your argument. And your argument as a student is that you need to determine the extent to which Mary herself could be considered a rebel woman, which is simple. Do you believe that Lucille Mathermere is a rebel woman? That's it. That's all they're asking you. Do you believe that Lucille Mathermere has the characteristics of a rebel woman? That's all they're asking you. And you answer by saying, the writer believes that Lucille Mathermere could be considered a rebel woman to great extent. Or the writer believes that Lucille Mathermere does not fit the characteristics of a rebel woman. And that they want to know. That's all they're asking you. That's all they're asking you. And this is how you're going to answer it. You understand me? I'm letting in Rahim. If you can't hold in here, if you can't hold in here, tell me over YouTube. That's true. And of course, you must remember, let me not rush the gun. Let me see if I can continue on this. All right, guys. And so let's continue. So everybody understand the breakdown of the question. What we have in red is just the basic information that they're giving you. Green is the way in which you're going to get the information to answer your argument, which is in yellow. Determine the extent to which Lucille Mathermere herself could be considered a rebel woman. Someone message me and ask me if you're supposed to be reading the book, The Rebel Woman. No. No, you're not. You're not even supposed to look at the book. The book don't even matter if we're gonna be honest. If we are going to be honest. But it is the in context clue, you must understand what this book is talking about. You must ask yourself, what exactly could this book be talking about? In context clue. I'm finding the thing to give to you guys. All right. So we understand so far. We can move along to kind of give the breakout of what this book report is. Yes? Let's go. Your book report is in the context of an essay. Yes? Your essay is based on 3 parts: your introduction, the body of the essay, and the conclusion and personal view of the book. Your introduction, the body of the essay, and your conclusion and personal view of the book. Ready? Your introduction must have a brief biography of the personnel, which is who? Who is the person the book is about?
Lucille.
Lucille Matthew. And then after that, we need to have the author's information. Who wrote this book? And why do you think we need the author's information? Anybody?
For credibility.
For credibility. For credibility, you must understand why we're putting in the author's information. Now, guess what? John, Mark, Luke, Paul could have written the book and never in their life know what women are facing or have any idea or done any research about what women in the Caribbean have been through in history. So why you write the book? Imagine a soul-sci student telling a med-sci student how to give an injection or IBP or something like that. Imagine a med-sci student telling an engineering student how to calculate and do a program. Why should I listen to you? What is it? What if you present me with a whole big document on how to program make the program, but you're a med student? Why should I listen to you? Where is your credibility? And that is why we have to have the author's information. Next, this is not necessary, but it's good when you give like a layout of what the book is about. Now, what we can do different this year is instead of just doing the layout, we can give a small summary of the rebel woman. Small summary. So while it is that you're talking about how the book is set up, you can bring across the idea of the book, which is the rebel woman during slavery, and just let them know that this is what Lucille Matthew did in her work. She spoke about these things. Yes? And then after all of this long talking here, sweet out the people that at the start of your essay, we bring forward the thesis statement. Now, this is my part. I love this. I love this bad. I love the thesis statement. Bad. You know why? Because in the thesis statement, this is where you showcase what it is that you want to talk about in your essay. Normally, because you're Carib students, they're looking for 4 points. I want to say 4 to 5, or 4. Don't do 3. 4 to 5, and you have the bright sparks. We're going to do 7. If you decide to do 4, it must be 4 substantial points that you're bringing across, which means that if you're going to be talking about something like colorism or colonialization, right? Or opportunities or gender bias in the university space, then you lick 4 solid points throughout the book where a teacher read and say, wow, hoop stick. But if you're going to do 7 points, you have to ensure that these 7 points are concise, because you're given that word limit, which is 2,500. The minute you start going over 2,500, see somebody tell me it's 3 to 5 they ask for. The minute you start going over 2,500, it means that you have, it's as if you have now started rambling. That what you're doing makes no, you're putting a little bit too much information and you're missing the point. So 3 for people like me and you, 4 for those who want to be safe, and 5 for those who are the brightest persons on earth. It's fine. We see you, we hear you. Be the bright spark that you ought to be. All right? And then after you've done this, you give the conclusion and your personal view. The conclusion and your personal view. Now, the conclusion, as you should know, is basically just a summary of what it is that you have written in your body of your essay, and your personal view is now your way of saying, I think this book was a good book. I think this book was a bad book. And this is why I think this book was a good book. And this is why I think this book was a bad book. But that's it. Now let's break it down a little. In this book, we have multiple themes that will be discussed. In this particular book, you are expected to zoom in on themes and then make the connection of Lucille Mathermere being a rebel woman. Yes? The book full of a themes or tale. And if you run through your Caribbean civilization course outline, you will see the themes that are being discussed in class or throughout the course, and the themes that must be assessed rather in the book. Now there's this document that is going around, and if you don't have access to the document, you need to reach out to me or one of your classmates. You can reach out to me at 5670913. Yeah, or you can reach out to me via email, omalorawilson@gmail.com. But the meat of the matter is, this particular document that goes around highlights the themes that are here, that are present in the book, and not just the themes, but also, not just the themes, but also where you can find examples of these themes. And so I'm going to share the screen so you guys can see it, because I want you guys to know these things. I don't want when we leave here tonight, and we're not going to stay long, guys, because oh no, and how can I join the book report session? How can I join the YouTube session for the book report tonight? Oh, somebody just asked which document I'm talking. Let me just reply in the WhatsApp group. I'm sending now. I'm sending now my side. But let me look for the documents for it. Download. Oh, there you go. All right, and let me open it and you guys can look at it, all right? So this is the particular document, and like I said, this document is drafted every semester. Once we get a new book, there's this gentleman over Trinidad who ensures that he helps us by basically, when you reach out to him and ask him for it, he kind of splits up every bit of information for us so that we're able to access this particular data without having to worry ourselves. Let me just swag one here, so. But this is the document. You guys have never seen this document before?
No.
I like that phone. But anyways, my day a phone. I'm here for you guys. But the reason why we're looking at this document now is because there's some particular themes that you must know before you start this book report. You understand me? Oh, let me send the document in the group. I'm gonna send it for me. Tio. See, Miss D. Okay. Here she says, so I have a beautiful friend who is helping me. Sirani just sent it in one of the groups. So if you didn't get it, just let me know. Message me 5670913 so I can send them. If you're in a group, you send it to that group. But let me share the document. But let me share the screen so you guys can see the document. And when we say the documents are coming like a heaven sent, it's heaven sent. Every single semester, we reach out to the gentleman and we say to him, say, listen, we just beg you, draft up a document for me. And this is the book. And he goes through it. We reach out to him and he goes through it bit by bit, document by document, and he gives us the information. Now, if you look at it, you see the different themes here. We have colonial education, then you see when them listed page 9, teaching West Indian, and then you have social certification, which is our next theme. Oh, Sami private Cape tutoring, and then we have regionalism, diaspora and globalization, and then it's so many information that's listed there. We have feminism, which I would love for you guys. We're reaching it. Give me the next ones. We have, because Sammy doesn't do all of them, he just does the ones that he believes are prominent in it. But I just want you guys to know that all of this that he's giving. Oh, and follow him on TikTok, guys. He always send us follow him. Follow him here. Don't style him. Follow him on TikTok. But right, guys. So he always gives the information out. He always gives the information out. So you see, someone will ask, I'm gonna read the book. It's it really is. but read the book, you hear? But it really is. And what was I saying now? Right, so there it is that Sammy has given us some themes, and then at the end of the day, there are always some other prominent themes that are there for you guys to look into. And so what I always do is that I always list the things that I know will show up somewhere in the book. Always giving you some themes that will show up somewhere in the book, no matter what. And themes like colorism, racism, political movements, colonialism, Caribbean identity, which is very important, globalization, resistance and retention, mass migration, feminism, male absenteeism, which you guys really need to look into, classism and social certification, double diasporic consciousness, migration, education. Please, me a beg you know, look into education. And then, of course, comes the big one, which is, oh, and guys, if I don't respond to you right now and send the document, remember send me the here, so and here, so, and so me send it soon. You hear, no worry myself. But send the messages, I'll send them after. So these are some prominent themes that are discussed when it comes onto the course Caribbean civilization. And so you might see these themes throughout the book. You might see these themes throughout the book. And then Sammy takes out the powerful themes that are there. And then he drafts up the different pages in which you'll find the information so that you can use them as examples. We really hope no lecturers don't watch this one and find out and change the question again, because that's what they do each year. So I'm not gonna be lied to no, they ask the same questions. When they feel like students are getting comfortable, what they do is that they switch up the question and it make you confused. You feel like they might ask you something different, but it's the same question. Anyways, let's go. So let's go into it. We just talked about the different parts that your essay needs. It needs an introduction, it needs a body of the essay, it needs a conclusion, and it needs a personal view. If you don't send me the email tonight, Tyro, oh no, let me send Tyro the bear with me, guys. I'm gonna send Tyro the link to the class because I don't want him to be left out, you know. All right, so I send it to you, Tyro. Right. Where was I? So let's get into it. The introduction. The introduction is your grabber and pave way for the reader. It tells them what is present in the book and consists of the typical layout. Now, the introduction has the background on Lucille, and it asks the basic questions. Who is Miss Matthew Mayer? Where is she from? Who are her parents? What is she known for? Because at the end of the day, my name is Omalora Wilson. Want to see a book right about me? No, tell me something. Let me call somebody name in this. Daniel A. Brown, is there a book written about you? Madam Edith Laws, is there a book written about you?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet, Daniel. Manifest greatness. But is there a book written about you? And he said, you know why Daniel said not yet, you know, because he expects to do great things. No. If somebody is to just randomly write a book about Omalora Wilson right now and give you in class and say, Read up on this student. Her name is Omara Wilson. She comes to UWI and she studies marketing, and she's the Faculty of Social Sciences representative. I'm not gonna look and say, why do I need to know much about this girl? She's just, what she do? She write book. You understand? I mean, what she do? Why is it? But so you need to explain to your readers, what is it that Lucille Maffermere is known for? And what exact role has she played to the Caribbean society? Because she must play some role. So we had read about China Caribbean civilization, a whole big book where me want to sleep when me read it if you're not a history student. So there must be some particular role. Now, after that, we ask ourselves, who is Vereen Shepherd? Very simple information, but make sure it showcases her credibility and validity as an author. Because at the end of the day, when we're looking at a topic such as a rebel woman, you need someone who is either a feminist or a woman, a researcher on gender equality, or a researcher in gender studies, or a researcher on what women went through throughout history and now in society. Let me tell. And then, of course, you need to talk about the book's characteristics. What is this book about? Hi, Daniel. It's great seeing you. It's great seeing you, Daniel. Oh, good youth, good youth, good youth. Yes, Daniel, you and I will talk. But let me admit Brianna, and let me go over YouTube, because I know they're probably over there talking and I missed a few statements that they probably have to say, and I don't want my YouTube babies to feel left out. I got you, YouTube. My contact number 5670913. This is for Rihanna Lee. Right, but let's talk about it. Right, so this is your grab and pave way. And then, of course, what is this book about? What is this book's characteristics? Why are we required to read it? And one of the things about these books that I always say to students is that I always mention that these books are a part of the Caribbean biography series. Because the Caribbean biography series, what it is the University of the West Indies, UIMONA Press, they release books about inspirational, influential individuals who have either come across the university space or who are great contributors to Caribbean society. And so it's important that you do that. This year, I'm adding something else, and I said I wanted to do it. I want you guys to kind of just define in your own words what exactly you deem to be the concept of a rebel woman. So before you go into your thesis statement, define what you believe is a rebel woman. Because guess what? You now need to use what you think a rebel woman is to create your thesis statement. So based on what your idea or your concept, or if you want to go Google it from a scholarly source or something about what a rebel woman is, your thesis comes in. It is the final section of your introduction, and it tells the reader what the entire report will be about. And then, of course, comes the big information. It must include 3 points at least. Now, let's talk about it. Let me see if we can do an example. I love doing examples. I love doing examples because wait, I don't want you guys to see it. I don't want you guys to see it. I don't want you guys to see it. But I love doing examples about in terms of creating our thesis statement. I love always doing the introduction. I will be sending it Daniel Cooper to the WhatsApp group. And then this is our introduction. Everybody understand so far? Let me know. Turn on your mic, say it in the YouTube. You understand what the introduction is and what is expected of you for the introduction.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. You
Hold
can
on, hold on.
text.
Hold on. I turned my head. Oh, okay. I was about to ask where we must put the 3 points, and then I read it. So I'm with you.
Okay, beautiful, Kimberly. And I hope anybody else who had that question knows as well. All right, so I'm taking that as a yes. And we move along. So that is the introduction. Let's break down the body of the essay. The body of the essay has a typical layout as well. And the layout that we give is the peel layout. You know what the peel layout is?
Yeah.
The peel layout in our particular course of study is one, you give your point. You tell the reader what the theme or point you are identifying is in this particular, the theme or point you're identifying, and define what the theme or point is. That's the first part of your peel essay, your peel layout. Next, you show your example. Tell the reader where this theme is seen throughout the book. And you use paragraphs and pages as well as you can paraphrase. Meaning you don't necessarily have to say in paragraph 1, on page 3, paragraph 4, but you can say on page 3 or in chapter 4 and you paraphrase. Then you need to explain to the reader using scholars and references how this point and example is linked and what draws you to see your examples as valid. Meaning, I still go back, Ashley asked me to go back on the document. Meaning, if I say to someone that I believe that racism is prominent in the Caribbean, yes, or was prominent in the Caribbean, and then I talk about the fact that racism was prominent in the Caribbean because guess what? We see the history amongst us. Now I need to explain using scholars and references how this point and example is linked. Meaning, I now need to say to you, as a matter of fact, and I want to use some. Karl Marx speaks about society having bourgeoisies and proletariats across the board, which means that there must always be this higher level of authority or persons in a higher class juxtaposed to persons in a lower class. And that is what racism brings forth. The segregation of people and the introduction of two classes, bourgeoisies and proletariats, because that is how our society functions. I just explained to you my point on racism. And then I talk about it and I say, as a matter of fact, if we're looking at the historical context of it, racism stems from slavery, in which we always saw ourselves we always saw ourselves as inferior, or white persons always saw themselves as superior, because that is the way in which we were raised and socialized mentally. That's me explaining and giving you scholarly articles and references. And then guess what? You now link everything you have said back to your thesis and pave a way for your next point. So after you've explained using your scholars and your references and so, you make the link as to why this is an idea or a characteristic of a rebel woman. If you're with me, let me know you're with me. And if you're not with me, let me know. You're with me? You understand what I'm saying?
So the explanation that we will give will stem from the course material?
Not necessarily the course material. So it's not necessarily the handouts and the things that you have gotten in class, but basically it will come from your research. No, I wish I could have stopped recording and say it to you, but I won't. Just Google, and then whenever you have Google theme, Google the theme and say scholar. Daniel, why you laugh? But if it is that you don't know, Google. Use your Google and use your UE link. and find your answers. So like say, for instance, I, Laura, I'm talking about racism. I would Google scholars that speak about racism in the Caribbean, or I would Google sociologists' theories on racism, or I will Google the history of racism in the Caribbean society. And then I'm interested in the information that I'm getting are from good, valuable people who actually did their research in the Caribbean, or in the world. It's up to you what you want to use. So if you feel as if you don't know how to explain a theme like feminism, Google have it. Google have the scholars and the articles and the historical reference. Google. I don't want nobody stressing the brain. Google it, my type. Google, 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 Google. Don't just Google. Use you link to them. Google if you don't know. You understand me? I always use sources that are stemming from, it depends, because when you're Googling and you're Googling for sources, you can always use, what I normally do is I use something from like 1990 or 1980s, and then I match it up again with something from like the early 2000s or the mid 2000s. You understand me? For feminism on a whole, I always look for something that comes from early 2000, because that's when feminism was just stemming, or early 1990s, because that's when feminism was just stemming. And then I use something that comes from this current period, so 2020, 2019, because I know that feminism is now a powerful topic that is being discussed.
Okay,
but yeah,
thank you.
but no problem, Ken, no problem. All right, guys. And then of course, we are going to be doing some together. I always do this. I always do an example together. And so we're going to be writing the first part of our essay. Let me know if you see my screen, and let me know if you see my screen to YouTube.
Yeah, I'm seeing a screen.
All right, because we're gonna be doing it. So this is us pretending as if we're gonna be writing our very own essay, right? And this is for those who don't start reading it, and those who haven't started writing the book, so you know the process or the way in which we are gonna be tackling this particular topic. Yes? Now, we're gonna be using the same idea that we had earlier on today about how we do our introduction for this particular book report. That's what we're using, see, we're still gonna be using it, all right? Loading up something, that's why, forgive me for stop talking mid-preaching, but I'm loading up something. Oh, and I also want to highlight to you my side. I also want to highlight to you that you may believe that 2,500 words are a lot. You may believe that 2,500 words are a lot. It is not. It is not. And if I were you, I may say to no, because I know, you might believe that 2,500 words are a lot. It is not. You hear what I say? And so by the time you start, you realize that you're kind of on your own now. By the time you start looking, you say, Jesus, because me run out of, me not have enough space to put all of the points that I have. You might believe 2,500 words is a lot, or a lot rather. But by the time you start getting the swing of it, you have to go stop yourself. You have to go stop yourself. Mark my words. And then you might end up having like, 2,400 and little, or 2,500 and little. Not kill yourself, make it stay. But I mean, you realize you're at like 2,000, and that means you're short 500 words, or you're at 1,800, it means that you have not looked into your themes to the fullest of your potential, as well as if it is that you realize that you're at like 2,800, 2,900, 2,700, you really need to cut down on some of the things that you do, because you do too much now. Ease yourself. But let's go into our essay. Let's go into our little essay. And let me find it. So let's pretend that we're writing the essay, all right? And I'm gonna be doing it very basic, and I'm saying it because guess what? I don't want you guys to, what we write here, not beginning in Jesus' name, not beginning in Jesus' name. Do not cut and copy and paste and use, because the information there, they're just examples. And you know why I'm telling you not to cut, copy, paste, and use? I guarantee you, you will not be the only one. And when you run that thing through Turnitin, and when you, not even you, when your lecturer run that thing through Turnitin, me not ask Christ, you're going in trouble. So I always say to persons, do not use the example that we're doing here, all right? Do not use the example that we're doing here. Use your own example. All right, ready. Ooh, all right. All right, guys, so we're gonna be writing our very own book report. And let us remember how it is that we targeted or looked at our and I always have examples for you, meaning I tend to save students who send me their book reports after we do this session and they get their A's. I remember, hello, me talked to somebody last year and they get 90. I couldn't believe it. I feel like a star. But when they send me their book reports, and why I will not send you the ones about Lucille Mathermere, is because I don't want you guys to just take their information and put it down there. But I do often get back the book reports from different categories. So you guys, I'll send some of those templates in the chat as well. All right, so let's start with our own book report. Let's go. And our book report will be on Lucille Mathermere. And remember we said that we're gonna be zooming in. I like how that Google, I like how this all working, you know. So let me just forward it to myself. And let me just download it. Am I sharing my full screen? Let me just stop sharing. I'm stop sharing for 5 minutes, guys, because we want to finish by 10:30 in terms of how we're doing the layout. And if you guys have any questions about themes, then we can do a quick answer, because we don't have to sleep, save the information, and then get ready again. I would have loved to do a next session with you the night before it's due, because and that session is not necessarily walking you guys through this, but like just to fine tune some of the information that you guys may have had. I normally do that, but if I do it this year, I might do this year, as a matter of fact, I just might. So if you guys are up to that as well, if you guys are open to doing somebody playing flow. Somebody playing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. We're at the ranch. It is a busy day. We are harvesting some wood out here. I was talking to we're talking.
I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna mute it for you, Nasir. How about yourself, Nasir? We are big people. Nasir, your YouTube was playing. Your flow, something was playing. And it's fine. But yes, guys, I'm getting the document open for you guys so we can go through it. But let me see if I can find it here. Okay. Let me go through the email. I'm gonna see all of the students from last email. And if you're really, you see, if you're on your last and you know you can't go no further, call me. But that's not only if you're on your last. You see, if you call me and realize you're not on your last, I'm gonna make you finish the book. But if you say you're on your last for true, and there's no go, we sit down with you and me help you finish the book once me free. All right? Because boy, sometimes I tell them, I know how it feels, and persons who pretend as if they don't understand that this can be a very tedious thing to go through. when it is that you don't know what you're doing. I don't like that. I like when persons are honest with themselves about what it is that they're going through. So if you know say it hard, it just hard, not run feel hard. But let's talk about the book report. I'm gonna do the one with Stuart Hall and done. Right. So let's talk about the book report. And we're just gonna be looking at a small section of the book report. Hold on. Okay. All right, guys, let me know if you see my screen.
It's
You
not
see my
up.
screen?
No, not as yet.
Not as yet? All right, let's do it then. And I'm grateful for the persons who are actually resending the documents back into the group, so persons can have access to it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm gonna start off with the plan because it's not yeah man, it's not gonna load, so I'll do it by myself. So let's go, guys. Let's get ready to write our book report. And I'm gonna share out the screen again for the longest one. No, nobody was an S. All right, guys, so let's go. Let's do it. And we're doing it very basic and very simple. And we're using the way in which, okay, somebody raise their hand. Go ahead, Shahini. Shahani. Shahani.
Hi, good night, everyone. I'm just asking what specific group is it that you're sending the templates in?
You're in a
What is
different
the
group?
I'm not seeing it on my side here. What group are you sending it in? I texted you personally though.
Tell me what. All right, retext me right now. Are you in a group? Are you in a WhatsApp group for Foundation 11 or 1011?
No, I'm not.
Message me, re-message me. All right, say less, baby, say less. You're 280?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send it to you again.
All right, thank you.
No problem. And if guys, if you're not in a if you're not in a group, talk to me. I might pull some strings and add you. I don't really have access to the groups because I'm an adult and no longer do this group. But I'm gonna, if you want to be added to the group, let me know. But let's go about the book. And so, like using the example in which we have, which is that we're gonna use the introduction by giving the background on Lucille Mather-Mayer. Where is she from? Who are her parents? What is she known for? Let us start writing our essay. Who is Lucille Mather-Mayer? I'm genuinely asking. So this is the part where I'll unmute my mic. I'm gonna go into the YouTube. This is the part where we talk the most. It's not me that talk. I only talk now. Unmute your mics. Who is Lucille Mather-Mayer? No, you go on better. Never tell no friend no. If you go on better.
She's a mother, a wife. She represented Jamaica in the UN or to the UN, and she was an educator. Yeah, and she was instrumental in the establishment of the Department of of the Gender Studies course at UWI. Yeah, that's all I have.
That's all you have? And that's fine. All right then. No, anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else?
Okay, so I typed mine in the chat, but I have she was a professional historian, a wife, a mother, a mentor, a scholar, civil servant, legislator, feminist, and a women's rights activist.
All right.
That's all I have for now.
That's fine. That's beautiful. Now let me tell you something. What you guys are doing at this moment is that you're kind of gearing up to write what your particular essay will be about. So you have the layout. Now let me ask you something. What is Lucille Mathermere known for? Come on, man, talk to me. What is Mathermere known for? You want me to tell you? Mathermere is actually being credited as being the first woman to ever sit as the Undersecretary General of the United Nations. These are some of the things that she's known for. Not only that, but Mathermere was the first female warden here at the University of the West Indies for the only sorority here and across all of the UA campuses. Not only that, Mathermere became a voice for women empowerment, and she was a women's rights activist. And then the very same book that we're trying to compare Mathermere to is the groundbreaking thesis. I love that. I love that, Ellie. All right, and here Kaysan said, the first historian to interrogate and champion gender justice for women. You know what Lucille do? Lucille allowed me to understand that women in Caribbean history and during slavery did not just sit down and hide and cook food. In fact, I've learned through what Lucille did in her research, like a woman did run things when it came on to resistance. Is a question I have, Shaheen, or is it all hand? All right, it's an all hand. All right then, so let's talk about it. Let's do this particular introduction and make for heaven's sakes, don't guys are writing. Let's talk about it. So this biography but this biography, no, Jesus is this book report. We're just doing the first part of it. So this book report is based on, what is it based on? The biography. What's the name of the biography? Entitled Lucille Mathermere. This biography is based on, this book report is based on the biography entitled, guys watching a grammar, no mind for me, this is just a draw. Lucille Mathermere, which is written by,
Vereen Shepherd.
Vereen, S-H-A-P-H-E-R-D, Vereen Shepherd. Don't watch me grammar. As part of the Caribbean biography. You see how I'm wording it? Biography series. You don't have to word it like that, but I'm giving you the first sentence. This book report is based on the biography entitled Lucille Mathermere, which is written by Vereen Shepherd as part of the Caribbean biography series, right? This biography, it highlights what?
Her life.
Her life and her
impact she had in the Caribbean.
All right, her upbringing, and her overall impact to the Caribbean society. We're good. All right. That's it, you know. That's it. Now let's go. Give me a little bit about Lucille Mathermere. Where was she born? When was she born?
Jamaica in 1924.
All right. So Lucille Mathermere was born on, I think it's July. I saw July what?
21st.
All right. July 21st.
June 21st.
It's June or July?
June. It's June.
June 21st, 1924, in where? Kingston, Jamaica. Give me a little bit about her. Who was her parents? Who were her parents?
Father was absent. Stepfather.
All right.
Edith Cardigan.
Edith, I think how her name did spell again? Kogan. And Erica.
Her stepfather. Oh.
Eric, what's Eric's last name?
Walrond.
Walrond. Look all this. Oh, beautiful. Eric Walrond. Guys, don't mind my grammar. Don't mind my grammar. I don't know me. I try say. And I guess she was the youngest, not true. Being the youngest of how many? Three daughters?
3 girls.
3 daughters. Don't mind my grammar, guys. Remember, this is just us typing of 3 daughters. Not true. This is me giving a little history about her. We move from that now. We move from her growing up and everything. We know business about that now. We now want to talk about her educational status. And so I want to say something like, I know she got her diplomats, but I think she got her, Lucille acquired her first degree
At London.
Thank you. At London. I'm not sure what the college was called. At London University, not sure. London.
Graduated
with honors. With honors. And then I think she got a doctor of philosophy. Philosophy, I think right here at UE. At UE, right? And then you talk about just 1 or 2 things that she had accomplished. So you can talk about the fact that she was the, what's your Google computer. Oh, what embarrassment like that in front of the students. Yeah, there we go. She was the first woman to serve as the, look wait, man. I'm looking at the book while I do this.
The warden at Seco Hall.
Under Secretary General, I'm going to come to that one. And the first female, the first warden, the first female warden overseeing the Mary Seco Hall. I think this is dear to my heart because I'm a Secolite. I live on the Mary Seco Hall right now. I'm going to say we have a whole room dedicated to her. When this book came out, we had a big celebration because we're so excited to know that, you know, persons are finally acknowledging this powerful woman. And then, of course, you can talk about her book. You can talk about her book here, The Rebel Woman, but just a small amount, just a small bit. You can say she's also known for, just put it there, she is also known for her research, her work in Rebel Woman, full stop. Yeah? And then you now need to tell us that this book was written by Vereen Shepherd. Shepherd is what was Vereen again? I think she is I think she's a feminist or Shepherd, but I know Shepherd is known in Jamaica.
Social historian.
Pardon me? All right, is
Social historian.
a social historian known for her work, in highlighting the role and contribution of women in the Caribbean history. And that's it. That's it. You can probably write another sentence, Bovary, and that's it, right? And then you can talk about the layout of the book, the fact that this book has how many chapters? 8 chapters. And I think 87 pages. I don't remember because I read it weeks ago. And which focuses on the life and focuses on the overall life of Mather Mare. Rebel woman, when you say a rebel woman is thought to be, and then I'm just gonna go off the ball here. One, questions and redefines the idea that is bestowed upon her and the idea that is bestowed upon her and her abilities. Let's say that is a rebel woman. This writer it is strongly believed, I'm writing my thesis statement now, that Lucille Mather Mare what was the thesis? What was the question that they asked in the book report? What was the question? Oh. That Lucille Mather Mare could be considered a rebel woman, could be considered a rebel woman due to the role she experienced and played during her period in the form of feminism, education, and social stratification. And that's it. I've written our introduction for us. And let's see how much this is. I'm sure know why I tell me say on the don't need no more. Oh Jesus, and the camera on. On don't need no more than the amount of words that they have given to you guys. I'm gonna show you why. 2,500 words for write, yeah? And this alone, I'm guaranteeing you, is almost 100 words. Almost 100. Almost 100. almost 100. Let me see. 217. This is 217. And this is just your introduction. And this doesn't have all the information. And so after you do this now, you're gonna start into your theme. And let's say the first theme is feminism. You can say, Martha Mayer is considered a rebel woman due to her role and experience in feminism. Everybody understand? Then you define feminism according to, and these scholarly sources that I'm doing, they're not real. We're just, we're just writing and gliding. So let's say, according to John A. Key, then you quote 1995, feminism is defined as the, and then you put the definition of feminism. Okay? That's it. That's your P for peel. Now you need to give examples. Feminism.
Marola, we're not seeing what we're not seeing.
It's too small.
Then.
No, miss, your screen is frozen on the word page, so we can't see what you're writing for the theme.
So how I unfreeze it? Oh,
Scroll nothing.
No,
guys.
no, I
So
think
keep
that
your paused sharing.
yeah,
Yes,
you're sharing that.
Yeah, my body here. Remember some of the text. But are we back?
Yes.
We're back now, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So Martha Mary is considered a rebel woman due to her role and experience in feminism. According to John Akey, feminism is defined as, and you give the definition. You understand me? Then you can say, feminism embodies the idea of a rebel woman. Because now you're giving examples. So you did the P, which is define feminism, define the point and define feminism. You're going to do the E for the P, which is give examples. So feminism embodies the idea of a rebel woman as seen in, and let me give one of them where feminism is present. I want to say in paragraph, page 13, paragraph 2, where Mayor's aim was to provide a young woman of Sequel Hall with an education that transcended day-to-day learning in the classroom by exposing them to social graces and additional intellectual stimulation through an awareness of cultural affairs. Do you understand me? That is an example of feminism. That's how you do it. And then you can say feminism is also shown as where Matthew Mayer beated the concept of what a woman should do because she had her dual roles as a warden and a full-time mother to her own 3 children, right? You can also talk about the fact that Matthew Mayer was very intolerant of what sexism was about in society. And that is how you give the example of it. And then you now need to give explanation. Let me do the explanation part. You can say, Vereen Shepherd, because Vereen actually does books on this, speaks about feminism being the enlightenment towards social mobility for women in society.
You paused again.
Writing in the wrong document. Why am I telling you? You see, guys, I'm telling you from the get go, be careful with me and I'm not an expert, I'm not an expert at all.
I had a quick question.
Go ahead.
As it regards to the explanation portion, when we're doing the explanation portion, is this now the time to bring in like a different source to tie in what you're already saying?
Right. This is the time, Edith. So this is the time you start Googling for persons who speak about the particular issue, which is what, let me just use, so which is I just use Vereen, because Vereen actually speaks about feminism. So I'm saying this is me using other scholarly articles. Vereen Shepherd speaks about feminism being the enlightenment towards social mobility for women in society. And then you give you quote this, you give a reference. You give a reference. Okay, that's why you have to give reference. And then you can talk about it and you can say, Jessica Alba, known Marxist feminist rather, speaks about the concept of women progressing the idea of being dedicated to the home alone. Like, you understand what I'm saying? And that's you explaining. And then you finally make the link to it, which is like, which is very simple. Matthew Mayer continued to define the patriarchal society, I love this, which demonstrates through feminism rather, which demonstrates a rebel woman. And that's it. You're done with that paragraph and you move on to your next paragraph. Everybody understand me so far? Yes, we already wrote the thesis.
So in that last portion where you said no, we're tying into the definition and where you say she defied the patriarchal society through feminism, which demonstrates a rebel woman. Do we now have to, like with the document that we currently have, do we now have to know quote something from the book, or we can just leave it as is? We don't have to give an example of how she was.
No, man, you have to. Here. All right, you see? In this part here, so we're doing the peel part of it. Watch me.
Oh, okay.
So first, this part now, this part that I'm putting in bold first, this is you doing the point. You have just told us the point in which you're going to be speaking about, yes? After the point, you're going to give examples, which is why I say feminism embodies the idea of a rebel woman as seen in chapter 2, yes? After that, no, you're going to explain. No, after that, you're going to give, after that, you're going to explain in terms of talk about scholarly sources and articles that also supports the idea of feminism or just speaks about the history of feminism or the social understanding of feminism now. And then finally, you're going to link it to your thesis statement because you believe that Mayer defies the rebel woman. And this is you just making the link.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, no problem. All right, guys. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
How many examples would you suggest for the example part?
I always say 3, 4 because like let's say, all right, let's say I use an example like I normally, let's say last year I did one where I spoke about education being a prominent theme in the book, right? And then so let me give an example from last year. And the only difference about last year and this year is because we have to bring in the idea of a rebel woman there. But one of the prominent themes in Lucille Maffei was education. And I said, as stated by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, education, let me see what I have. Education can be defined as the knowledge, skill, and understanding of that individuals acquire by attending a school, college, or university. Throughout the book, it was evident that education was one of the most valuable assets an individual had. And then I spoke about the fact that Lucille Maffei finished high school and was motivated to seek higher education by the principal of her high school. And then I quoted where I saw it, which was Shepherd, page 6. And then I said, as a result of the worldwide crisis at that time, Mary had to set aside her educational journey for some years. However, this small hindrance did not stop Lucille from having the hunger to continue her educational journey, as she realized how much of an asset it would be and how having education would now put her in a direction of being able to accomplish the changes she would like to see in not only her country, but globally. And then I gave a next example in which how Lucille Maffei was able to meet like the prime minister because of her education. And also I spoke about the fact that education allowed Mary to be who she was that in those years. And you can continue to go on and on and on about how education is seen. But while you're talking about the examples, I want you to consistently paraphrase. Don't just copy and paste the word, but talk about what it is, what you saw in this particular page. You understand me? So I would say 3 examples, 4, and then you make the explanation.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Any other questions?
Not a question, but persons on YouTube are asking you to please look at the chat.
Oh, Jesus, I'm so sorry.
Miss Ella, good night, good night.
Oh, they wanted to know if we already did the thesis statement. Somebody's asking if 500 words is too much for an introduction. Not necessarily.
Hello?
Though we would have rather it be 300 words. But let me tell you why I'm saying not. Because you're doing basically 5 paragraphs, introduction, your 3 points, and then your conclusion. So if you give 500 to each section, then not really. But I would recommend giving it 300 words. Somebody asked as well, what is the thesis statement here? Oh, our thesis statement is not, it was just us giving examples, so don't use our thesis statement. But our thesis statement was, a rebel woman is thought to be a rebel woman is thought to be one who questions and redefines the idea that is bestowed upon her and her abilities. It is strongly believed that Lucille Maffei could be considered a rebel woman due to the roles she experienced and played during her period in the forms of feminism, education, and social stratification. Miki Palmer is saying, so I'm doing 47 points, but can I repeat the themes? If you're repeating the themes, that means that you're not doing 47 points because each point is a theme. If you can repeat the examples, yes, you can. Because at the end of the day, let's say you have colorism as a point and then you have racism as a point, you'd find out that some of the examples that you see in the book are interrelatable. Any other questions?
Miss, to explain a point, how many sources we would need to explain? Like 2 or more?
2, 3. Okay. 3 if you want to be bright. Sometimes you don't even need more than 1, but 2 is nice. 2 gives the idea that you're making strong analysis, meaning, and if you can't find 2, but you can find 1, it's fine. But it's good when you are making strong analysis. So the information that you're processing, that you're reading in the book, you can say, oh, this sounds like something where John Brown did talk about, or at the same time say, oh, this sounds like something where Martin Luther, Mark and Paul did talk about. You understand me? But basically, yes. Any other question? Oh, tin milk. Tin milk. Can we lose a line from out of the book? Yes, tin milk, that's what you're supposed to do. So tin milk, when you're giving the examples, you can say an example of feminism being prominent in the book where Lucille showed herself as a rebel woman can be found in in chapter 2, paragraph 3, where Lucille spoke with the woman on Mary C. Cole Hall about not yielding to the ideas that persons on campus had for them. You understand me, Tin Milk? Any other questions?
Could you please repeat how many words you said would be enough for the intro?
I would say 300.
Okay, thanks.
So I would say no more than 300. I would say 300 for, no, 300, 350. No, you don't have to use endnotes or footnotes. What you do is that you do MLA sourcing, MLA referencing rather, and then you have, after you do the MLA references, the MLA citing rather, and then you put your references at the end. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question?
Miss, what did you say about the...
Somebody Wi-Fi chipping out. Go ahead, go again.
Miss, you said for the citation, it's the MLA we're supposed to use. We cannot use the APA style.
Right, so it's listed in your, in my year, we were doing APA and then they changed it because, I don't know, no one give you a good example, but I don't know. But yeah.
Right.
So you have to do MLA.
Okay.
You have to do MLA citation. And like I say, I'm not necessarily the expert in it. So normally what I do is I find a document that kind of explains it and send it to the different groups or to the different students who ask so that they understand. And guys, I don't know if, why me I pinpoint it now, but I'm using my laptop and it doesn't have good camera quality. I don't know. But do you have any other questions in regards, is there a theme that you'd like to ask me about? Is there anything that you'd like to ask me about in terms of how would you tackle it? I'm the person right now to answer.
Yes, so after the introduction and about 5 themes, we should get about like 1,200 to 1,500 words.
After the introduction and your themes?
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to be like 2,000, 2,300 words.
Basically covering everything and almost
Yeah, by the
finishing.
time, all right. So by the time you have written your introduction and you've written your 5 points, girl, 5 points, which is 5 points, which is basically your themes that you're looking at. You're supposed to done the essay.
Okay, so about 400 to 500 words a point, or call it
Basically, right, about 400 to 500 words a point.
Plus the intro, that's, all right, that's like 2,300. Okay, that makes sense. That's like basically done. All right then.
Yeah. Any other questions before we go? So you need 2,000. Somebody asked, do we have to write 2,500 words? No, you don't. You can actually,
What would you consider the conclusion, the amount for the conclusion?
The conclusion is actually, I would give it 200 words.
That's a lot still, 200.
Yeah, you know, really, and that's the thing, that's a lot, because your conclusion is you're just telling people what you learned and then telling, all right, oh, and guys, let me talk about that part. When you're writing the conclusion, just summarize everything and then give your personal take on the book. What did you think about the book? Did you think the book was a good book? Did you think the book was a bad book? What do you think could have been better about the book? If you believe that the book did not fully embody the understanding of the Caribbean, say it. So somebody asked, can you do this for the thesis idea? Will it contain 3 different themes all in one? Example, slavery would be rebellion, free, and racism, but you just put the idea of slavery. Yes, your theme would then be speaking about slavery. And then when you talk about slavery, you would break it down into little parts. So you say, the idea of a rebel woman was also seen in slavery. But the thing about it is, I want you in particular, you know, why I want you in particular to message me? Because you are talking about slavery as a theme, and it's not a theme. It cannot be a theme in your book, because the time frame in which Matthew Mary was born, slavery did land abolished. So I want you in particular to message me. So message me about 5670913. That's my number. Message me. You in particular, I need you to message me. Yeah. Somebody is asking Caribbean gender and sexuality, how to approach. Let me stop sharing, by the way. You're asking me how to approach the theme of Caribbean gender and sexuality. And I'm assuming that you've seen this theme in particular in your in the book. You're telling me that you've seen this theme in your book, Caribbean gender and sexuality. All right. You're telling me that you've seen that in your book? And the reason why I'm asking Madam YouTube is because I'm not saying that it's not there, because at the end of the day, there is a lot of sexuality that happened. But I want to know, you need to message me too, because I want to know the direction that you're taking it. If you're speaking about Caribbean gender, you're going to talk about the fact, the examples in the book, or how you're going to look at it, is the fact that Lucille Mather Mary had a lot of fight because she was a female warden for Mary Seacole Hall. And so she was expected to be not as active as the other individuals would have been. Not only that, but Lucille's voice in certain spaces, it was a little bit too loud. Turn it down, Han. Turn it down. It was a little bit too loud. And so when you talk about that bias towards women because of your gender, that would be a perfect way for you to take it. And then the examples would be based in the document that we sent. Tin Milk asked me to share back on the last slide. But based on the document that we had sent, you could find examples of Caribbean gender and sexuality, though I don't think you want to use that particular word. But if you learned that theme in the course, then you can go right ahead and use it. But when it comes on to this part now, which is Caribbean gender and sexualization, you can look under feminism. We have some powerful points there under feminism that speaks about it and examples, but that's the way you would take it. Any other questions? And I want you to message me as well, because I would love to read your essay. Any other questions?
Do you think using 1 or 2 scholarly sources is enough for when analyzing?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Any other? No one sleeping at 10:30. But I'm asking, as well as guys, I'm opening my inbox I'm currently going through an election campaign here on UWI-Mona campus. I am also running for UWI-Mona Guild president. And so it's a little bit busy this week, but if it is that you would like for me to read your essay, then I have no problem in reading your essay. Daniel says you will vote for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
How do we vote for you? Because I'm not really well versed in the social going-ons of the university, but how do we vote for you?
All right, so election period is March 25th to 27th. So from that particular time, you would go on SAS, you would go into the registration and voting area, and you would vote. If you want to know in particular, somebody said Kijana told you about me. You can private message me and I'll walk you through it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen my graphics around, but I'm running for guild president, guys. So if you want to, you can support me. Somebody said, please advocate for online classes to be optional. That's something that I actually have in my manifestos, and I'll actually be working on that if elected. But because of that, guys, normally what I do when I have these sessions is I open the next 3 days following or the next 2 days following the book report session that we do for persons to send in their book reports to me, and I vet it, I read it through, and I give you corrections, I give you examples, and I help you. But because of the time that we have now for guild elections, I am not going to tell you guys to send me through the day. What I want to tell you guys is, whenever you're finished with your book report and you want assistance, just message me, WhatsApp me, and tell me that you'd like to give a quick call, because I'm a caller. I call and talk a lot. So you want us to run through your book report, you send it to me, I read it, I call you, and we discuss it to see if you're on the right track. All right. And as I said earlier, I'm sticking to my promise. I'm going to be sending the documents in the chat, as well as I'm going to be sending an example of Stuart Hall book report. I want to send you the Lucille Mathemere. I want to send the Lucille Mathemere, but I don't want to send it to you and you guys use, oh, nobody question different. I'll send you a Lucille Mathemere so you guys can see how it was. You guys are amazing. But if it is that, I'll send you the Lucille Mathemere. And so that part, in that way, you can also see how the essay will always be set up. You understand me? But yeah, guys, like I said, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Yeah, they leave you guys on your own. That's how they do it. But like I said, guys, take it from someone who submitted hers 2 days behind deadline and still got an 80. It's not hard to do. And if you guys are open, November 24th, you and us, we can do a next session like this, but instead of going through what we just go through, we're just going through what persons have written already. So if you want to get more explanation on your themes, we can do that, etc., etc. Oh, let me send my number in this chat. Let me send my number in this chat. So I'll send it in the major group, and you guys can tell me if you're willing to do the Thursday session. I wish I could have done it during club time, because I know that club time is easier because nobody has classes, but we're not sure. So yeah, if you guys have any other question, let me know. If not, you guys can talk to me in the group chat. And if you're not in the group chat, just private message me. I'll let them add it to it as well. Because I think for the next couple of days, you guys are going to be having some solid conversations. All right. So love and light, guys. Be safe. Vote on Laura for guild president. And yeah, anything you need, guys, reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you. Brianna is asking me which group. The Carib group, Brianna, the Carib group. All right. All right. No problem, guys. Bye, guys, and have a great night. Oh, and the recording will be on YouTube. So if you need it, check the YouTube if you need to go back through it. And if you, I have a friend, his name is Gart. Gart always lists out the points as well. So you can watch Gart's video. Yeah, I'm not, oh, and I'm gonna send you the documents. Let me just do that right now for you guys. While you guys take your time and leave. And if you're voting, private message me. I'll explain how the voting procedure works as well. But apart from that, guys, big up on yourself, love and light always, and take care of yourselves, all right? All right, bye, guys. Let me send the group. Let me send it to the group now. So I don't forget. I don't want to forget. Don't want to forget. Okay, let's see if this book is full. No, this book is not full. And I'm here group. I'm here something there now. Yeah, admin. You're welcome, Nikita. You're welcome, guys. No problem, guys. This is the fun. And you guys can come in and, you know, come and do no work. All right, so I'm gonna send you the first 5 persons. Okay. What else I need to do? Let me go into the next types of group. All right, guys, so I'm gonna stop live. I'm gonna stop the YouTube live.